welcome back to my channel, Rare Beauty by Duvernay. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to refresh your 3-day-old wash and go. Now, I've been using this tip for quite a few years now because when I first started doing my wash and goes and it dried up and sucked up and was all helmet shaped, I really thought that I was supposed to wash all of the product out and start all over again. Well, I'm here to tell y'all some good news. You don't have to do it. Yes! You can refresh your hair. So, if you want to see how I got my 3-day wash and go to still look this good, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, I'm starting off on hair that is squished and it has no life. It has nothing. So usually what I do is I just clip off the section that I'm going to be working with, and I usually start from the back and work my way to the front. Okay. You guys, this is such a lifesaver when I tell you that you don't have to waste your product, because the first few years of me being natural, I wasted a lot of product thinking that I needed to start all over, when in actuality I didn't. But of course, we learn through trial and error. So I'm just gonna stick that in there. Well, first let me tell you what I used in my hair from the beginning. I washed my hair and then I used the Beautiful Textures Tangle Taming leave-in conditioner. And then on top of that, I used the flaxseed, the Aunt Jackie's flaxseed gel. And I just went right on top of that. So it's only 2 products that I have in my head right now. And so you gotta make sure you have your trusty spray bottle. Now, concerning me, my hair does not work well on soaking wet hair. My hair has to be damp. If it's too wet, it will not soak up anything. And I guess that has something to do with porosity or whatever it is. I have no idea what porosity my hair is, but definitely it's something going on there. But I just dampen it. And of course, the product that I had in there from a few days ago or whatever is still there. So I want to kind of get my roots a little bit and work it in, work the water in. And then I don't go back with my taming, my leave-in conditioner. I just go on top of it with a little of the flaxseed gel. I don't always, depending on how defined it is, I don't always go back on top of it with it. Like the first, maybe the second day, because it's still not all soaked in and the weather or the sun has not, dried it up completely. I don't usually have to go back on top of it with any more of the flaxseed gel. But by this being 3 days old, I'm just going to refresh it a little bit. So like I said, my hair is just damp. And of course, I take it to the roots. Make sure that you always go to the roots. At least I don't like my roots puffy. I like to make sure that my roots are definitely covered, because there's nothing like this part being defined and then this part being puffy. So you have to make sure that you cover your roots. And of course, I'm just smoothing it over right now, and then I rake it through. I do have a little system, because the raking actually causes it to clump together in sections. The smoothing just makes sure that every strand has product on it, but the raking actually separates it, and that's what you want when you do a wash and go. So as you can see, it's very separated. Exactly what I was going for. And then you just take the next section and you dampen that. Make sure you dampen the roots. Make sure that you get your ends. And then you just smooth it over. Make sure that the water covers your hair. I also like to do this too, because sometimes the ends take so long to conform. So I make sure that it has everything. And of course, you know, the more that you do that, the more coily it'll get. So now I'm just adding more, and I don't add very much, just about that much. But it's really according to how it feels in your hands, how your hair feels, and how you want it to look kind of determines. But of course, you start off small. You don't want to start off too big, because it'll, too much product on your hair, it weighs it down. So if you haven't learned that, now you know. So again, I'm just smoothing, making sure that I'm getting down to my roots, making sure that the product is getting down to the roots. Now, this particular method helps pretty good with my kitchen, because I know I told you guys that my kitchen does not act right. So just from smoothing over and raking, you can see that it is really coming together. And then I just kind of let it fall, because I want it to be separate. I want it to just clump and fall. So then I take my next section. I don't use a comb or a brush in my hair to do any separating or to do any detangling. I like the method of using my fingers, because with a comb you can't feel when there's a tangle. It just rips through. But with your fingers you can feel when there's a tangle, and then you can take your time and then just separate it all the way down. So that's why I prefer to just use my fingers. So then I just take another section. Now I spray it. Make sure you get your ends. Make sure you get down to your roots on the inside. And I'm squeezing as I am as I'm going down, and I'm using my thumb. I'm using my thumb to kind of poke through it. I don't know if I could show you guys. And that's a form of detangling as well. And like I said, I prefer this method because I can feel when there's a tangle, then I can immediately stop instead of ripping my hair out. And then I can just start separating. So you just smooth the water through, remove any hair shedding. My hair does shed quite a bit, but I've been doing the rice water, and that's been helping a lot. So see, just with the water and the product that was already in it, it's still very coily. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the product and smooth it over and make sure I get it on my ends. And like I said, I'm taking my thumb and I'm pressing through just to do a little separating, just to do a little detangling, because I want it to clump together, but I don't want any tangles to remain in it. And as you can see, it's really not very tangled, and that's because it was already pretty much detangled when I first started, when I first did it 3 days ago. So again, sometimes you want to get those ends really good. Now those are very coily, but watch this. You see that? They clump together even more. And then you just drop it and let it separate. I don't force it to separate. I just let it fall apart where it wants to fall apart. And then you just move to the next section. Sometimes if it's too tangled and it doesn't want to come apart, then you just spritz it lightly. And then it just comes apart. It's like the water causes your hair to relax. And that's why even when I do my twist outs in the morning, when I take them down, I'll lightly mist it, because the water causes the hair to relax. Now, you don't want to use too much water because you don't want your hair to frizz. So let me just clip this out of the way right quick. And of course, this is the most dense part of my hair in the middle right here. So I want to make sure I get water deep down in there. Now, I'm not pulling it like as if I'm pulling it out. I'm just raking it over, just making sure that water is, you know, on every strand. Then I just go on top of it with the flax gel. I know I grabbed some other hair, but that's fine. And you just smooth it over, rake it, and then you detangle at the same time. Such a lifesaver. See? And then it just causes it to clump where it's going to clump instead of forcing it, because forcing it is going to cause frizz. Okay, now I can't fight with the clip. Come on. Crazy clip action. Okay. And I just repeat, make sure that I'm getting down to the roots again. You guys, it took me so long to really appreciate my hair. There were so many times I wanted to give up. I mean, straight give up. I was like, where's the perm? Where's the perm? I need a perm. So I know the struggles of being team natural. It's not always easy, but I feel like it's more versatile when you are natural, because you can flat iron your hair and get the silky, and then you can wear the curly, you know. But when you have a perm, it's only pretty much one way you can wear your hair, unless you braid your hair and then wear a braid out. And then that doesn't last too long because it's not naturally coily. So I have grown to love my hair greatly. But it took me a long time to train it. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. You have to train your hair to do what you want it to do. If not, baby, you're going to be looking for the perm too. I'm just saying. But I'm so glad that I left those perms alone, because I suffered with migraines and didn't even know that it was related to that. Have you guys noticed any headaches or anything while you were getting perms? And I just like to clump it all together and then just let it fall where it's gonna fall. So this is what it's looking like so far. Refresh, baby. And then I just move to the next section, which is my sides. Now, you guys, my hair is super funny because, and I'll show you once I finish everything with my hair, that right in this middle section, it hangs the longest. I can't stand the fact that I have different grains of hair. I have about, when I recounted, because I did say 3 at first, but when I recounted, I think I have 4, because these sides are the same. This front is different. The middle is really good. And then this kitchen area, it makes me want to fight. So, and then this has a lot of shrinkage. My sides have a lot of shrinkage. But when you putting it on, you make sure that you're getting all the fronts of your hair and the sides right by your ear. And you're just running your fingers through and detangling. And this section really is already detangled really good. And then, boom! Yes, honey! Do you see what I see? This is what it is. Ha! Yes, 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 yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, this is going to be an awesome refresh. I love it. It's turning out really well. So now I'm just going to move to the next section. This is kind of my little ritual of how I always do my hair. It's always, yeah, it's pretty much always the same. Uh-oh. No, you don't belong here. All right. So we're going to spray again. Make sure you get those ends. But like I was saying earlier, you guys, I really wanted to give up. I was looking for the perm. I couldn't find the right products. YouTube messed me up. Yes, it did. Because when you look on YouTube and you see all of these girls, and at the time I didn't understand different textures of hair. I just thought that whatever they were using was causing their hair to do what it was doing. Nah, fam. Everybody's hair don't do the same thing. Believe me. And the sooner you understand that you need to figure your hair out, is the sooner you'll start loving your own hair, and then you'll be able to figure out what works for your hair. And when I first started also, because I saw the different products that the YouTubers were using on their hair, I went out and I bought those, or I ordered it, and when I got it, it did not work well with my hair type and my hair texture. And I was so heartbroken, you guys. I was so heartbroken until, again, I realized that your hair is your hair. And you need to do what it takes to figure out what works for your hair. Now, because I don't know anything about porosity, I'm sure that it's taking me longer to figure it out. But I've come across some pretty good products, and they all seem to work. So my advice to you is, when you find something that works, stick with it. Because you're going to put out a lot of money trying to figure out if a certain product is going to work for you. Do you guys see? I love it. Refresh your hair. I'm telling you, I honestly thought that I had to wash it out. That's what I was doing. Every day I would wake up and I would get under the stand under the shower, and I would wash money down
drain.
And I didn't need to do that, and I didn't know that. And I didn't see any girls, you know, telling me how to refresh my hair or anything. But again, I've been natural for this December will be 10 years. So I've been natural a long time. And of course, that afforded me to have to make a lot of mistakes in learning my hair and learning how to deal with natural hair. I tell you, I've made a lot of mistakes. And I had to be willing to stick in it and stick through it and work through it, because I'm telling you, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit. And to be even more honest with you, I want to say it wasn't until real recent, like within the past 2 years or so, is when I really started getting the hang of things with my hair. I stopped looking at YouTube concerning, you know, their hair, other girls' hair, and feeling bad about my hair, and wishing it could do this and wishing it could do that, and hoping that it'll work. And, you know, it just broke my heart. It really broke my heart. But I learned my hair, literally. I learned, you know, some of the things that it likes, what it doesn't like. I've learned to pay attention to hair products, what it does to my hair. Does it feel, you know, soft? Does it shine? Does it feel crunchy afterwards, or things like that? So that's another thing. Pay attention to your hair. Your hair is going to tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like. And nothing in the world is going to make that product work in your hair the way you probably envision it to work. So you have to learn to love your own hair, because if you don't, heartbreak city, baby. Heartbreak city. So now I'm just adding a little bit more of the flax gel. And like I say, you got to make sure you get to those roots real good. And then again, I like to clump it all together, the different sections, and run my fingers through, and then let it go and see what it's gonna do. And like I told you, the front of my hair, the top right here, hangs longer than everything else. And it's the same exact length. Oh my gosh. See, it starts off cute. It starts off really cute. But as it dries, this dries, and then this stays here. And why are we doing that? Whatever. So I've developed, you know, a few little techniques. A little swoop to the back, a little flat twist to the front. I don't know if that part of my hair is ever going to line up, or if I'll ever find something that's going to really work and get it under control. But it is what it is. I love my hair. I just don't like that part very well. I love it, but I don't like it. So again, just smoothing the water through, making sure that I'm getting to the roots. And then I'm finger detangling, which is pretty much already finger detangled. But yes, my sister, Sheila, she actually went natural before me, like probably 15, 20 years before I did. And she would always tell me, you need to leave the permanent. You need to come on and go back to your natural roots. Your hair is best when it's coily, and it's, you know, I wasn't trying to hit it, because I was wearing my perm tear, honey, and my hair was long, honey, and when I turned, my hair turned, and when I dipped, my hair dipped. I was excited about my perm tail. Yes, yes, I was. But I slowly began to notice that my hair was thinning out on the side. But have you ever noticed with your hair or with someone else's hair how they could have the length, but you could see through it? That's not cute. Yeah. I once had a young lady tell me, "You're cheating." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Your hair is long, but it's not thick. So you have the length, but you're cheating." And I was like, okay, whatever. But then I began to realize that it was kind of like I was cheating because I had the length, but my hair was damaged. It was falling out. It was thinning out. And I was like, okay, no, something's got to change. And then I winded up speaking to a hairdresser, and she began to tell me about how, you know, perms can damage your hair. And I was noticing a lot of the things that she was telling me about my hair. So I went natural. So again, you see this front part? And it doesn't make any sense to cut it because it's the exact same length as everything else. But the texture, the coil of it is different. See, this is more of a curl. This is more of a wave. Why are you doing that? Moving on. So the journey has not been all bad. Have you ever done something with your hair, used a certain product and forgot how you used it and it never came out good like that again? I've had many instances like that. And it didn't leave me too happy. Needless to say. So now I pay very close attention to whenever I use a product and how I used it so that I can kind of recreate that same look. And so what I'm showing you right now is one of the times that I really paid attention to what I was doing and how I used the product, because how you use the product makes a huge difference. I was applying it wrong for my hair. Like, I would either use too much or not enough, or I'd use the wrong other product with it. It just, and my hair was letting me know that it didn't like it, but I didn't know how to fix it. It's all about paying attention, and that's one of the major tips that I could give anybody. Pay attention. Your hair is going to tell you what it likes, what it doesn't like, how it likes to be handled, what technique yields the best results. Because I'm telling you, you know, watching YouTube, those girls would get in the shower and their hair will be dripping wet, and they would apply the product and their hair will be so glistening and it'll be so defined and so pretty. And I was like, why isn't it working for me? What is going on? What did I get a bum deal with my product? I didn't know that it has a lot to do with the product too. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but what I'm saying is it's not always about the product. It's about the way that you apply it. So if you learn the different techniques like the raking, the smoothing over, and there are other techniques that I've seen some YouTubers do, and I'll actually review those, and I'll come back and I'll show you guys the different techniques you could use to try and figure out what works best for your hair, because you never know, you might have a golden product, something that would definitely work well with your hair, but you'll never know it because you're applying it wrong. It's a lot to learn with natural hair. So I'm almost finished. And of course, when refreshing your hair, it really doesn't take this long. But of course, because I'm showing you guys and I'm, of course, talking to you guys about what I'm doing, it is taking up some time, which is fine. And this is a little technique that I use to gather the little hair that sheds. Just rub your hands together and the hair will come off. It'll roll up in a little ball. It was a lot to learn. And then when I finally went natural and I told my sister, of course, she was like,
okay, I've been telling you that for the longest.
I'm sorry. But I finally did it. And I honestly have to say that it was the best decision that I could have ever made for my hair. First and foremost, I stopped having migraines. And then I began to enjoy my hair, going back to my roots, just appreciating my hair for what it did. I did not know that my hair was like this. When I was getting my hair combed and my mom was popping me at the top of my head, I didn't know that this was my hair. I didn't know because at the age of 10, my mom put a perm in. But of course, back then, there were no natural hair products. All you had was the blue grease, things like that. It wasn't anything. There was no help for our hair. So I am definitely finished with refreshing it. Now it's just time to style it. I'm going to give you a roundabout. Love it, love it, love it. Now, this is the part that I was telling you that hangs extra long in the back. Look, do you see it? I don't know if I'm actually showing y'all because I can't see. But this right here hangs longer than everything else. Like, why? Why are you doing that? I don't understand. I don't understand. And you'll never get me to understand it. I'm going to style it now. Just put a little bit over there. Another thing I like to do to kind of help it clump together and to, you know, be separated at the same time is get a little air in there. Get a little air. Make sure you can get some air to your roots. And make sure, like, the reason why I feel like it really helps is because it's already clumped together. You can see that they're clumped together. And this is what I mean as when I say clump. It's clumped together. And so you want this to dry together. So when you add air into the mix, it's just like diffusing your hair. But I don't like that method. I don't like putting air directly on my hair. To me, it just does something to it that I don't like. So I rather let the air, just the regular air, dry my hair. Yes, do you see that, honey? Yes, yes, yes.
Can you say yes, yes, yes?
All right. Coming together. And then you're just shaping it. I like to do a little, this is about the only time that I like to use a brush. and it's soft bristles. I had to learn that the hard bristles are equivalent to a comb, and it will take your hair clean out of your scalp. And when someone told me about using a soft brush, I was like,
A soft brush on this? No, indeed.
but they was like, no, for real. The soft brush lays your hair way, way better than a hard bristle brush. And they let me use their soft bristle brush, and I was like, wow. So just another little tip, soft bristles. You don't want something hard that's going to yank out your hair. You want something soft. So then you just brush that part back and brush that part over. And then you get your bobby pin, your trusty bobby pin. I don't do too much brushing, but just enough to kind of gather the hair. And then you put that there. Then you grab another one. And then you put that there. Now, I like to cross my bobby pins like that because it holds it tighter. Holds the hair tighter. So that's another tip. You're getting all your tips from your girl. And then this is the hairstyle. And of course, as it dries, it's going to have shrinkage, but it doesn't matter much to me. Unless it just looked too sucked up, like I just took this cap off. Then we having problems. But for the most part, this is how I refresh my wash and go. I'm going to come back in another video and I'm going to actually show you how I do my wash and goes and what my hair looks like before I put any type of product in it, because I tell you, it wigs out. It wigs completely and totally out when it does not have product in. You would not think that my hair could do this when it's freshly washed. It's not cute. But this is the finished product. I love how the refresh turned out. And see it shrinking already, which is...
It's gonna have to be fine. It's not like I can do anything about it.
So what do you guys think? Do you like it? Well, if you do, definitely give it a try. I gave you guys some pretty good techniques and some good information just to let you know that when you do your wash and goes, you do not have to wash your hair every day. You don't have to wash your money down the drain. I'm telling you, that is literally what you're doing. You're washing your money down the drain. All you have to do is just have a little water. And as you can see, I think I started when my water was here. So I didn't add a whole lot of water to my hair. But you just, if you want to add a little bit more product, you add a little bit more product. But water definitely is the key. And for my hair, and probably for a lot of you guys out there, water is not all that important to your hair. A little goes a long way. So especially with me, a little definitely goes a long way. So I love it. I love it. It came out so good. Give it on, take it. I'm not really sure of how that back is looking, but I did what I usually do. I love how my hair takes on like a diva cut, even though I didn't cut my hair. Like, that is so totally awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in to Rare Beauty by Duvernay. If you haven't already, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button. And hit the bell next to it so you can get those notifications for whenever I post another video. And make a comment and let me know what you think. Also, you can check out my other channels, which is Duvernay Chronicles. And on that channel, I post about my family gatherings. I post when we go out into the city of New Orleans and, you know, the different festivals that we have, when we go on vacation. And also I have Duvernay All Day. And that is the channel that I do my mukbangs on. So if you want to see your girl eating, you want to see your girl have her guests, you want to see your girl eating all kind of different things, then go on over to that channel. So again, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. And as you can see, my hair, my refresh turned out very, very well. See you next time.